Welcome to episode 8 of Storytime with Mrs. O'Donnell. I miss you all, and because April is Poetry Month around the country, I'm going to be sharing some poems of Shel Silverstein with you. I have 2 books. The first one I'm going to read some poems out of is Where the Sidewalk Ends, probably his most famous book of poetry, that is. Shel Silverstein was not only a poet, he was an artist. As you'll see, all these illustrations are his. He was also a folk song writer and singer. He played guitar with a couple of very famous folk groups back in the early 60s. And his last years of life, he lived on a houseboat off the coast of California. How cool is that? So I'm going to start with Where the Sidewalk Ends. I think there are 3 poems in here that I want to share with you. The first one is called It's Dark in Here. I'm writing these poems from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. So please excuse the handwriting, which may not be too clear. But this afternoon by the lion's cage, I'm afraid I got too near. And I'm writing these lines from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. This one is called The Loser. Mama said I'd lose my head if it wasn't fastened on. Today I guess it wasn't, because while playing with my cousin, it fell off and rolled away. Now it's gone. And I can't look for it because my eyes are in it. And I can't call to it because my mouth is on it. Couldn't hear me anyway because my ears are on it. Can't even think about it because my brain is in it. On this rock, I'll guess I'll sit down and rest for just a minute. I love his poems. They make me laugh. I don't know if you heard that little meowing happening. That's Grizabella. She wants to be in the picture, but not where we want her to be. So, the last one from this book is Jett and his TV set. I'll tell you the story of Jett, and you know what I tell you is true. He loved to watch his TV set almost as much as you. He watched all day, he watched all night, till he grew pale and lean. From the early show to the late show, and all the shows in between. He watched till his eyes were frozen wide, and his bottom grew into his chair. And his chin turned into a tuning dial, and his antenna grew out of his hair. And his brains turned into TV tubes, and his face to a TV screen. And 2 knobs saying vert and horizon grew where his ears had been. And he grew a plug that looked like a tail, so we plugged in little Jim. And now, instead of him watching TV, we all sit around and watch him. I love that one. Looks like a television. Incidentally, the gentleman that is doing the videotaping of this is Jim. That's his name. Now I've got a couple more from this book by Shel Silverstein called Falling Up. Think about that title for a minute. Falling Up. So the first one I'm going to read to you is Needles and Pins. Needles and pins, needles and pins, sew me a sail to catch me the wind. Sew me a sail strong as the gale. Carpenter, bring out your hammers and nails. Hammers and nails, hammers and nails, build me a boat to go chasing the whales. Chasing the whales, sailing the blue, find me a captain and sign me a crew. Captain and crew, take me, oh take me to anywhere new. The next one is called Shoe Talk. There's no one to talk with, so I'll talk with my shoe. He does have a tongue and an inner soul, too. He's awfully well polished, so straight-laced and neat. But he talks about nothing but feet, feet, feet. Silly. I was asked if I have all these memorized. The answer is no, which is why I have these little post-it notes in them. This one's called Quality Time. My father is a golfer. He lets me be his tee. He puts the ball upon my nose and hits it right off me. He says that I can share the joy of every ball he hits. Oh, ain't it grand to have a dad who spends time with his kids? I don't think I like that kind of time. So this is called the Keep Out House. At last, I finished my Keep Out house, a house that's meant for privacy, a house that's meant for peacefulness, a house just meant for only me. There is no door where strangers knock, no window where they peek and grin. A perfect, private Keep Out house. Now, how do I get in? I skipped two. I have to go back. This next one I usually read around Halloween, but I'm going to read it to you again. This is called Blood Curdling Story. That story is creepy. It's waily. It's weepy. It's screechy and screamy right up to the end. It's spooky. It's crawly. It's grisly. It's gory. It's the awfulest story. Please tell it again. I know you all like scary stories. Okay. The second to last one is called Remote a Dad. It's just like a TV remote control, except that it works on fathers. You just push the thing that you want him to do, and he does it without any bother. You want him to dance? Push number 5. You want him to sing? Push 7. You want him to raise your allowance a bit? You simply push 11. You want him quiet? Just hit mute. 14 will make him cough. You want him to stop picking on you, yelling and telling you what not to do, and stop bossing you for an hour or two? Just push power off. The last one is called Eggs Rated, and it's a really hard one, so I hope I do it well. These eggs are excellent. I'm not exaggerating. See what I mean? Let me start again. These eggs are excellent. I'm not exaggerating. You can tell by my... I can't do it! What's wrong with me? Let me try. 3rd time's a charm, so they say. These eggs are excellent. I'm not exaggerating. You can tell by my expression they're exceptional. Extra fluffy, extremely tasty, cooked exactly right by an expert with lots of experience. Now, I'll examine the bill. Ooh, much more expensive than I expected. I gotta get out of here. Where's the exit? Well, that was a very difficult one to end with, but I hope you've all enjoyed Shel Silverstein's poems from the book Where the Sidewalk Ends and Falling Up. See you next time.
Cat.